and we'll recognize individual lifetime giving. And obviously this achievement is for individuals who have worked hard on behalf of the institution or the foundation, and this is all to further our mission to urgently seek safe and effective treatments and ultimately a cure for Lamb. So thank you. I'll turn it back to Sylvia.
How the Giving Club works is each individual's total contributions to the foundation determines the level of membership in our lifetime giving clubs. Annual gifts will be totaled at the end of each calendar year, and donors will be recognized the following year. When I call your name, please come to the stage to receive your Breath of Hope Club membership pin. First, we're going to be recognizing our Breath of Hope Founders Society. These are donors who have made a lifetime giving of $100,000 or more to the foundation. John and Vi Adler. Their lifetime giving of $50,000 to $99,999. Sue Burns. Society with lifetime giving of $25,000 to $49,999. Richard and Pam Bard. Tom and Mary Harbaugh.
how about another big round of applause for everyone that's come up. Now we want to move on to the Lamb Leader Awards, and I'd like to introduce two previous Lamb Leader Award recipients who are present tonight. Mary Harbaugh and Marla Hamlet. Would you come up, please?
Lamb Leader Awards are given to individuals who have consistently made extraordinary contributions to the Lamb community. These individuals go above and beyond when it comes to giving of their time, talent, energy, and commitment.
Lamb patient Karen Shadd and her husband Rich Shadd have been longtime supporters of the Lamb Foundation and have hosted several fundraisers for the foundation through the Colorado Friends of Lamb Foundation. Over the years, they have raised nearly $140,000. Karen is a past board member and currently serves as a Lamb liaison for Region 16. Rich recently wrote and published a book about their experiences while waiting for Karen's double lung transplant, which she received in 2009. The book, called A Taste of Air, A Love Story, is a memoir in which Rich shares their story, combining his recollection of events with Karen's diary entries. The Shadds are donating all proceeds from the sale of the book to the foundation. Their support of the Lamb community makes them both true Lamb leaders. Congratulations, Karen and Rich.
Lamb patients Peggy Haupt and Susie Picard are both very caring and dedicated to helping other women in the Lamb community. 2 years ago, they recognized that patients needed a way to support each other by sharing their feelings and experiences. Together, they decided that a group solely for the Lamb patients would be a great solution, so they created the group Lammies on Facebook. This group, which currently has over 425 members, is a great way for patients, and it's only Lamb women, to receive words of encouragement and hope when they are feeling fear, sadness, or despair. It's also a great place to share good news about doctor visits, personal accomplishments, and stories about family members. The feeling of sisterhood among Lamb patients grows stronger every day because of Peggy and Susie. Their support of women with Lamb everywhere makes them both dedicated Lamb leaders. Congratulations, Peggy and Susie. Peggy is unable to join us this evening, so Susie will accept the award.
I would now like to invite Laura Lentz and Dr. Frank McCormick, the Lamb Foundation Scientific Director, to the stage to present the next Lamb Leader Award.
This is going to be a little surprise for somebody. Dr. Gene Sullivan is a pulmonary physician who has served on the board of the Lamb Foundation for 10 years. He trained in pulmonary and critical care medicine at the University of Colorado in Denver and spent his early faculty years at the Cleveland Clinic. He went on to serve as the Deputy Director of the Pulmonary Allergy Products Division at the FDA, and then into industry as the Medical Director at United Therapeutics, and now his own company, EJS Consulting. He is an invaluable advisor to the Foundation on a broad range of issues that have arisen over the years, including key aspects of trial design for CAST, TRAIL, and MILES. He's played a major role in the Foundation's efforts to obtain FDA approval for sirolimus in lamb based on the results of the MILES trial. For his selfless service to the Foundation, I'm delighted to call him to the podium to accept this Lamb Leader Award.
I would also like to add that Gene has been on the board of directors for a long time on a volunteer basis, and he has been completely selfless in what he's given to the foundation and to Lamb women. And when he is at a board meeting, he speaks with so much knowledge, and when he says something, it truly means something. And for that, I am really grateful, and I'm honored to give you this award. In 2012, as Richard Barr just stated, we began the Lifetime Giving Club. A Breath of Hope Giving Club celebrates donors who are committed to supporting the Lamb Foundation's mission in urgently seeking effective treatments and ultimately a cure for lamb. With generous support from our donors, we are able to see many achievements each year. As members of the Giving Club, Vi and John Adler are a true inspiration. In my mind, they represent as a couple the mission of the foundation. We support both patients and research, and as John supports research and Vi supports patients. John's commitment to the foundation and to moving lamb science forward is both meaningful and motivating. Vi's commitment and dedication to patient services is perceived by the lamb community as compassionate and inspirational. Together, they provide others a true product of hope. In appreciation for their extraordinary contributions to the advancement of lamb science and patient services, the Lamb Foundation is proud to honor Vi and John Adler through the creation of the Vi and John Adler Distinguished Benefactor Award. This award will be given to top benefactors who help the foundation fulfill its mission for years to come. Their continued dedication and compassion is an inspiration to women with lamb around the world. John, would you please come on?
Thank you. I have a little response here. I really appreciate this, and Vi and I are truly honored. She's really sorry she can't be here tonight in person, but she's here in spirit. She's 83, and she's a great-grandmother, and so she sends her best to all of you fellow Lammies. Vi and I have received a lot more from the Lamb Foundation than we've given. She feels a real sense of camaraderie and sharing as a sort of poster child for the older generation. Coincidentally, her middle name is Hope. Our relationship with the Lamb Foundation has been extremely rewarding to me as well. One relationship that's extra special is with Lisa Henske, who's here tonight. We've been privileged to support Lisa's research for 10 years or so. Some of it directly, some of it through the Lamb Foundation. Last week, Lisa called me. She was very excited. She said that a new company had been formed to try to develop lamb-specific drugs. Jonathan Rothberg, whose daughter has tuberous sclerosis and whose wife is a lamb researcher, is the founder of the company. But Lisa played an important role in getting it off the ground. And its CEO, Henry Lichtenstein, is here tonight. Henry, where are you? Want to stand up? And so, this is the first company that's really been formed dedicated to developing lamb drugs. About 6 years ago, when I was a Salk trustee, I was a trustee out there for about 18 years, and we had a scientist come to our board meeting whose name was Reuben Shaw. And he gave a talk about cancer to the board. And he discussed in there the mTOR pathway. And that sounded a little bit familiar, so I said, what does TOR stand for? It says target of rapamycin. My ears went up. And I said, could you apply that, which he was working for cancer, to lamb? He thought so. So long story short, Reuben has been working on lamb ever since. And I consider that making progress on drug development as he has is probably the most important thing, certainly the most rewarding to me of anything that we've done in terms of contributing to the field. But more specifically, the man who trained Reuben as his postdoc was none other than Lou Cantley. And what you saw today was kind of a generalization where Reuben is working on a specific part of that. He's working on the AMPK pathway, and it would have fit right in on the chart that Lou showed you today. So Lou, we're particularly grateful to you. And metformin, which is one of the things that he's working on, is a drug that Vi has been taking over the last 5 years as a result of that. Frank doesn't think it'll do her any good, but I believe very firmly that it will. And while Vi and I are proud and happy to receive this award tonight, and really are appreciative of it, I personally think that the contribution that Sue Burns and Frank have made would have been a more deserving to name award, the award for distinguished benefactor. We probably should have received it maybe for this year, but the general award might have been better if it had been named after them. That's just one man's opinion. It's not my wife's opinion. You all know Sue's unique history as the founder of the Lamb Foundation. There wouldn't be any without her. But you may not realize about Frank that Frank has literally devoted about 5 working years of his life without any financial compensation and on top of his day job to the Lamb Foundation. Now what could be more distinguished than that? So when I learned the other day I got a call that we would be receiving this award tonight, it reminded me of a story that Abe Lincoln used to tell. You know, Lincoln, before he became president, used to be a ride on the circuit. And they would go from town to town, and the judge would go with them. And after court every day, they'd go to get something to eat, have a few drinks, and tell stories. So one day, one night they're doing this, and Lincoln is telling the story about little Jimmy who went up to his father. He says, Daddy, Daddy, Tommy's up in the hayloft and he's got his pants down, and Mary is up with him, and she's got her pants down, and I'm afraid he's going to pee on her. And the father says, well, you got your facts right, but your conclusion is wrong. So I say tonight to whoever decided to give us this award, you got your facts right, I'm not so sure about your conclusion. In any event, I want to thank you all for your recognition. Vi and I are truly honored, and we're glad, really glad, to be a permanent part of this wonderful band.
So I'd like to ask Andy Bregman to come up for a minute to help me give poster awards. We're trying something a little different tonight. Usually we give the poster awards during the session, but the lead judge had not gotten her last dose of resveratrol. And once that was done, we were able to take a vote. So the award for the basic science poster goes to Zhao Zhao Gu. Would you please come forward? Translational poster goes to Emily Gilbert. Clinical poster, I wanted to give just a little bit of background. When the Miles trial ended, sirolimus isn't available in Japan, so the patients who were on the drug during the trial, some of whom felt they were benefiting from it, had to come off and had no access to it. And Yoshikazu Inoue and Ko Nakata developed an open-label trial with the purpose of getting approval for sirolimus, but also for providing access for those patients to the drug. And it was truly a heroic effort. And for that, they won the award for the best clinical poster. Scientific awards. I would also like the following patients to come to the stage: Pam Bard, Landy Bregman, Andrea Burns, Kathy Pfeiffer, Eden Pons, and Melissa Wolf. Oh, and Madeline Nolan. First award goes to Dr. Stephen Hammes, who's a professor and chief of endocrinology and metabolism at the University of Rochester Medical Center. He received a 3-year Established Investigator Award to develop a LAM model by knocking out the tuberous sclerosis gene in the mouse uterus. Dr. Hammes proposes that LAM tumors may be uterine fibroids that have been made more aggressive through inactivation of the TSC gene. These mice will become a model to develop novel strategies for LAM. Dr. Hammes could not be here this weekend, and his award is being accepted by Andrea Burns. Dr. Arnold Christophe is an associate professor of medicine at McGill University in Montreal, Canada. received a Lamb Foundation Established Investigator Award to study the role of urotensin, a growth-promoting protein that's expressed in lamb tumors. The main goal of this work is to understand the effect of urotensin-2 on the growth and destructive properties of cells lacking the TSC2 gene, and to test a drug that blocks urotensin-2 activity. Funding for this project is jointly provided by the Lamb Foundation and Lamb Canada Fund at Tides Canada. Dr. Kristoff's award is being presented by Landy Bray. Senior physician at Brigham and Women's Hospital and professor of medicine at Harvard Medical School. He's received a one-year pilot award to evaluate the use of zebrafish to study angiogenesis and lymphangiogenesis in lamb. Dr. Handon has developed a technique to study the development of blood vessels in cancer by injecting tumor cells into zebrafish embryos. His goal is to determine whether using this technique with cultured lamb cell lines will induce blood vessel development as well as lymphatic development, and whether blocking lymphatic or blood vessel production prevents lamb tumor growth. Dr. Handon's award is being accepted by Kathy Pfeiffer. Dr. Marina Holtz is an assistant professor at the Stern College for Women and the Albert Einstein College of Medicine at Yeshiva University. She's received a one-year pilot award to study mTORC and S6K1 signaling in lamb. Dr. Holtz proposes that S6K1 may be an attractive target for lamb treatment. She hypothesizes that inhibiting specific components of S6K1 signaling downstream of the mTORC pathway may prove to be a more effective and less toxic treatment than current rapalog therapies. She also will study the connections between S6K1 and estrogen functions in lamb cells as a basis to develop combination therapy approaches for treatment. Dr. Holtz's award is being presented by Eden Pons. Postdoctoral researcher at UCLA's Center for Computer Vision and Biomarker Imaging. He received a one-year pilot award to evaluate whether a computer-aided CT imaging biomarker might provide valuable outcome measurements for lamb clinical trials. Dr. Lowe seeks to develop and evaluate a quantifiable and sensitive CT imaging biomarker for early detection of treatment effects of lamb. The goal of the imaging biomarker is to reduce both the duration and the population size of drug trials, thus lowering the cost and time required to develop safe and effective treatments for lamb. Dr. Lowe's award is being presented by Melissa Wolf. Also known as Madeline Lowe. Is an associate professor of medicine at National Jewish Health. He's been awarded a special project grant to work with lamb patients to develop a questionnaire to assess quality of life, specifically in women with lamb. Focus groups are being held this weekend to gather input from lamb patients. A questionnaire will then be carefully developed using scientific methods. Once developed, the lamb community will have a useful instrument to determine whether new drugs or other therapies improve not only breathing, but things most important to women who suffer with lamb. For example, how they feel and function, and how they rate their quality of life. Dr. Zwigris's grant is being presented by Pam Bard. And now, for the Scientific Advancement Award. In the history of the foundation, there have only been 6 scientific advancement awards given. This is actually the 6th. There have been 5. Dr. David Kwiatkowski is the recipient. He is a professor of medicine at Harvard Medical School. He's a thoracic oncologist who's cared for women with LAM at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, and he's a leading geneticist. He served on the scientific advisory boards of the LAM Foundation and the Tuberous Sclerosis Alliance for over a decade, and twice as the basic science chair of this meeting. He's convened over a dozen major meetings for tuberous sclerosis and LAM. He cloned the tuberous sclerosis 1 gene for tuberous sclerosis and developed the cell and animal models of TSC deficiency that are most widely used by the TSC and LAM community. The tools he developed and shared so generously were used to develop the scientific basis for clinical trials. And I have to emphasize that his generosity is unparalleled. There are others that have developed similar models that were not so generous, but his models are used in laboratories all over the world. Dr. Kwiatkowski is a tremendous asset to the LAM community and a very deserving recipient of the LAM Foundation Scientific Advancement Award. David, please come forward.